What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Carnage, issue number 12. And there has been a lot going on throughout this series. The Carnage symbiote has been rejected by the only host it has ever known, the serial killer known as Cletus Kasady. Without a host, Carnage has spent weeks consuming the abilities of superpowered individuals and making itself stronger for purposes unknown. And it has taken on a new host. That host is Detective John Shade. Meanwhile, you have Cletus Kasady, who has been undergoing changes of his own. His soul, or codex, currently inhabits an otherworldly symbiote dragon, itself infused with the highly advanced extremist virus. He has also found a new companion in the serial killer named Knull, one who has long idolized Cletus, but he is quickly learning that you should never meet your heroes. With Cletus now back in New York, and with his new form that is part symbiote, part Stark tech, he is more powerful and more dangerous than he has ever been before. This will also be leading directly into Carnage Reigns, the alpha issue releasing next month. So be sure to keep an eye out for that issue. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we are picking up at a diner. More specifically, we are picking up at Todd's Diner. We have Knull and Cletus Kasady, and Kasady has been eating this place out of house and home. At this point, he's eaten enough to feed a freaking football team. And Cletus is telling Kenneth that you should grab something to eat. But with Kenneth traveling through space and doing everything that he has been doing, he finds himself short on cash. What he's more concerned about is that none of this is real. Seeing what Cletus is capable of, Kenneth is questioning what is reality and what is figments of his imagination. What is Cletus manifesting in front of him? Does he know if anything is actually real? And he's not really upset about this, he's more curious. He's wondering when Cletus is going to wave his hand and all of this will just melt away. He is also telling Cletus that they don't have time for this. Carnage is drawing even closer to his goal. This strikes a nerve with Cletus, because this was always his goal. This was his plan. At this point, he stands up, he starts demanding his steak and eggs. This is where a nearby customer says that you should probably just chill out a bit, that you've already eaten enough to feed the Jets' offensive line. Just be patient and your food's gonna come. That's when Knull interrupts and he goes on to say, do you know who Cletus Kasady is? And he says that he does, but I think that you mean Carnage. Kenneth taking offense to this because people always get them confused. We see him transform and he says that maybe this will help you understand. This is where he goes on to start butchering everybody inside of this diner. This is where we hop over to Carnage and Detective John Shade. Right now, they are sitting in the memories of John Shade. An old memory, one where they have a discussion with Wilson Fisk. Right now, John Shade's partner, he is furious. And just recently, 4 state witnesses had been butchered in under 48 hours. They had Kingpin dead to rights. They were finally gonna be able to lock him up. But then Kingpin does what Kingpin does best. He took out anybody that might even mention his name. All of the witnesses taken off the board. Now they have nothing to stick to him. And at this point, his partner is ready to put a bullet into Kingpin. But John holds him back. He tells him to holster his weapon, that this isn't the way, that we must trust in the system. We must find a way to bring him down without resorting to what he is. And while John is able to stop his partner, Kingpin never faced justice. In fact, he became a mayor. And when it comes to his partner, Detective Polk, he turned to the bottle, winding up in divorce all the cliches. This is where Carnage says that there is enough bloated bodies in the Hudson to walk clear across it to Jersey, and you could have stopped it all these years ago. You could have ended it by killing Kingpin right then and there. Carnage is thinking that maybe John Shade is a disappointment, that perhaps He chose his new host poorly. As we hop back over to the diner, everybody is being butchered. The cook sitting behind the counter, he is trying to dial 911. His hands just simply aren't allowing him to do so out of fear. Absolutely petrified. That's when Kenneth Neely takes the phone from him, saying that there's not gonna be any of that. When Kenneth is about to smash the phone, that's when Cletus throws him clear across the restaurant. He picks up that phone and he gives it to the man. He says to go ahead and make your call, that he's gonna let this guy live just a little bit longer because he is still waiting for his steak and eggs. And so the man makes the call to 911. He tells the dispatch of everything that has happened and that he is witnessing, saying that he's pretty sure he's about to die. With this 911 call going out, we have our Spider-Man Miles Morales making his way to the scene of the crime. They have no idea what they're about to face. The only thing that they are going on is that there is a hostage situation. And so Miles hightails it over to the diner. The police are already out front and they are trying to negotiate with whoever is inside, with the negotiator asking if there are any special requests. Cletus only has one: to catch. This is where he throws a body out of the diner and it lands on one of the squad cars. Carved into this man's back, it says Carnage rules. That's where Miles shows up. He felt that almost as if it were an explosion, as if a bomb had just gone off. But it didn't trigger his spider senses. So now he knows that there is something else. When he sees that carved into the man's back, he says, oh no. He says not him. Please, anything but him. With Kenneth looking out the window, he sees how many squad cars there are. He tells Cletus that they have to find an exit strategy, that those police snipers, they may not be an issue for Cletus, but Kenneth, he is still very much a human being. But he does say that Cletus didn't disappoint. Cletus had promised a spectacle, and he delivered on it. But Cletus had told him that this is the Cletus Kasady show. And that will be the end of this issue. Like I said in the beginning, this is going to lead directly into Carnage Reign's Alpha issue. Releasing in May, this is going to be opening up the war between the Carnages. Now, obviously, we can tell that Cletus Kasady wanted this attention, but the question is, who is he trying to get the attention of? Is it Carnage, or is it somebody else? Regardless, we have Miles who has shown up, the first hero on scene, but probably not the last. And this is going to be a unique fight because nobody has faced against a Carnage of this magnitude. Now, the other Carnage that is out there, we could easily say is more powerful than Cletus is currently. But that doesn't take away from how powerful Cletus currently is. Being tied in with the symbiote dragon mixed with Stark tech, this makes him very formidable. In the preview that we get for next week, we do see that Iron Man is there, as well as Red Goblin. So it looks like there's a possibility. Now, this could just be smoke and mirrors. You know how cover art loves to just show something but not actually introduce that into the comic. But I'm gonna take that at face value. We can only assume that we are gonna see other heroes introduced into this fight. Where this inevitably leads, that is still very much up for speculation. But my understanding is that he is trying to get the attention of Carnage, that he wants to bring Carnage to him. Once Carnage learns that Cletus Kasady is out here being Carnage, trying to take the name for his own, if you will, then Carnage is going to return to put down Cletus. Or there is always the possibility that the two of them finally sort out their differences and they join forces together. Cletus Kasady with his dragon symbiote Stark tech mixed in with Carnage's godlike abilities, his god-killing weapon, his god-stopping armor. If the two of them were to join forces, they would be dang near impossible to stop. And with the King in Black currently too busy to be focused on some symbiotes that have been cut away from the hive, the likelihood of seeing Eddie Brock may be slim to none. but it's gonna be very interesting to see how this story unfolds. Now, if you would like to get caught up on everything that is going on in the symbiote Venom world, if you want to get caught up on everything going on with Carnage, be sure to check out all the links in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with these series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are also getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.